Hi everybody, it's Trish and it's Monday evening and I'm live on Facebook. And I wasn't planning on making this post today, but I'm very compelled to do it. Little truth here. For those of you who have known me for years, my friends in Florida and my friends in New York, you guys all know that I come from a very liberal, progressive family. You guys knew my mom and dad. I am a dyed-in-the-wool, progressive, liberal Democrat, unabashed Democrat, and spent a lot of years supporting candidates, campaigning for candidates. I campaigned for Obama in 2008 and in 2012. I attended the Gay Rights March on Washington in 1992. My dad wrote me a check for $1,000 when I went and said, here, you're going to need some spending money out there. Go there and make a difference. I attended anti-nuke rallies in high school. I campaigned for Democrats in local elections from the time I was in middle school. This is who I am. And it's always who I've been. In the last few years, I've been kind of not as politically active as I used to be. Probably just burnout after, suffering a loss in my family. And I don't know, just the climate has been so ugly and divisive in recent years. And I just have been trying to avoid getting into that. A few years ago, I went back and forth with some people on the opposite side of the fence politically from me on Facebook. And, it didn't do anybody any good. So I've shied away from that. And even this political season, I've mostly shied away from too many political posts. I've made shared one or two posts about the Republican nominee when I was feeling especially unhappy with what I was seeing and hearing, and I have done that. But for the most part, my posts, when they've been political, have been about the things that I believe in and the things that I stand for, and I have tried to kind of keep it positive and keep it up. I have definitely not explored other people's pages with differing viewpoints, looking to create arguments, looking to create drama. People feel how they feel, and people have their opinions, and everyone has their right to their opinions, and I don't expect I'm going to change anybody's mind. But I do have to be true to who I am. And this morning something happened that is now compelling me to make this video. And, if you don't want to hear it, you're going to turn it off, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm doing this for me. This morning I shared an Upworthy video from the page Upworthy, which has all kinds of great videos. We all go to Upworthy. This particular video was a young woman videotaping her mother, who had just left the polling place early voting and was crying tears of joy because for the first time in her history, in her life, she was going to be able to vote for a woman for president in this country. And regardless of who the woman is, the fact that we actually have a nominee for president who's a woman is groundbreaking. It's earth-shattering for any woman to be in this position where we can actually choose to vote for a woman for president. It's very momentous, just as it was in 2008 when we had an African American running for president and winning the presidency for the first time. This is groundbreaking. This is game-changing, and it has been game-changing. So I shared that video because it was very joyful to me, and I'm going to feel, whoops, my lights went out. I'm going to feel the same way. When I walk out of the polls tomorrow with my mom. She and I are going to be holding each other up and crying tears of joy because, wow, as women, we have arrived. So I shared that post, and suddenly there were several people posting underneath it who are supposedly friends. And, you can have a different viewpoint. You can absolutely have a different opinion, and you can even express that different opinion on my page. But you can't insult my intelligence because I have an opinion that's different from yours. That's not okay with me. I'm not doing that to anybody else. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'm strictly stating on my Facebook page how I feel. And so if somebody insults my intelligence and tells me that my vote is stupid, then, I'm going to have to stand up for myself because that's who I am. I've always stood up for myself, and my friends know that. I don't take that lightly. So, that being said, I'm going to put this out here. And again, I have been hesitant to post too much politically. I own a business. When you own a business, you run the risk when you're putting your political opinions out there that you may alienate some people. Maybe you won't do business with some people. Well, I've reached a point that that has to be okay with me. That has to be okay. I do business with people on the opposite sides of the fence, and I have no problem with that. If nobody wants to do business with me who is different political opinions than me, that's okay too. I have to be me. And so I'm being me right now, and I'm sharing with you who I am politically, so there's no mistaking about it. And if I lose friends, I lose friends. If I gain friends, even better. I am voting for Hillary Clinton for president. And some of the reasons are as follows. Perhaps the biggest reason for me is because I support marriage equality. I believe that people should be allowed to marry who they love. And Hillary will ensure that Supreme Court justices will be nominated who will support the current law guaranteeing marriage equality for gay, lesbian, bi, transgender, queer. I support the LGBTQ community. I always have, and I always will. That's one reason I'm voting for Hillary. Another reason I'm voting for Hillary is because I support the Second Amendment. And I also support proper controls that will help to eliminate the ability for people who would choose to purchase guns to do other people harm. Let's make it a little bit more tough for those people to get their hands on semi-assault rifles with big clips, with lots of bullets that can allow people who are have mental disorders, or who are just full of hate and racism, whatever their reason is, to go in and shoot up schools and shoot up nightclubs. Let's make that a little bit more difficult while still supporting the Second Amendment. I'm voting for Hillary because I believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own health care. I believe in Roe v. Wade. Many, many people do not. And that's okay. But I do. And that's one of the reasons why I'm voting for Hillary. I'm voting for Hillary because I believe in supporting the rights and dignities of intellectually and developmentally disabled adults. Having worked for a nonprofit for a few years, working with developmentally disabled adults, I know that these people are very, very special and deserve the same equal protection under the law as everyone else. And I know that Hillary will fight and work hard to uphold those protections. I am voting for Hillary Clinton for president tomorrow because I stand against racism. I stand against religious intolerance. I stand against the government having too much say in people's most personal decisions regarding who they worship, their health care, and who they love. I stand against hatred. I stand against misogyny. I stand for women's rights. These are the reasons I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. This is a message about positivity in this election. I don't want to be engaged in dialogue with people that hate. I don't want people commenting on my page against my views or against who I am because I have opinions, and I'm not going to do that with anybody else. And I realize that putting this video out here is probably a risk. I don't know what I'm risking, but I do know that for too long, I have been putting my own personal self-worth at risk because I have not been being totally true to who I am. And that ends today. Tomorrow I'm voting for Hillary Clinton for president. Whoever you are voting for, whatever side that you're on, get out there and let your voice be heard. If you support the Republican nominee, then I encourage you to vote your choice. I sincerely hope that the decision will be that we will have our first woman president. But if we don't, we will still go forward as a country, and hopefully we will all move forward together, not in hatred, not with violence, not with hostility, and not with calling each other stupid for having opinions that are different from our own. That's all I have to say. I wish all of you a wonderful Monday evening. Thank you for listening. Get out and vote tomorrow. It is not only your right, but as an American, it is your responsibility to make your voice heard. Whatever you have to say, get out there and do it. Do it with peace and light and love. Good night.